So pretty much first question is, I know that you haven't competed yet. So how did you kind of get into that bodybuilding lifestyle that you've been living? So how long has that you've been kind of living that lifestyle and what kind of got you into it?
Oh, where do we start? I'd say I've always been insecure.
Yeah.
Like grade 11, I was probably around 120 kilos.
Fuck.
And then I just kept eating crap. So I just kept gaining weight. And I was
Yeah.
like, I was doing like school rugby as well.
Hmm.
And I was just like, every like PE lesson, I'd get picked on. I'd be like the last one to get picked for the
Yeah.
group. No one wants you because you're useless pretty much. And yeah, I was just like, I can't keep living this way. Like, it's terrible. Like, I feel like I'm judged everywhere I go.
Yeah.
And I think it was like 146, 147 kilos.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was pretty damn heavy, and it wasn't a good look either.
Mhm.
And then I actually got kicked out of school because it was a religious school,
Mhm.
and I wasn't Christian at all. And they were like, "We know you don't want to be here." Um, like they asked me to leave pretty much.
Okay.
I was like, "All right." And then I finished school at TAFE, so I
Oh
was
yeah.
working a week, and school 2 days a week, and I finished grade 11 and 12 there. But and then I don't know what happened. Like, I think I was just so over it and so sick of being so big. I was just like, I'm gonna do this bodybuilding thing, and I'm gonna lose weight. And at the
Yeah.
start, it was more just like I want to lose weight,
Lose weight. Yeah. Yeah.
and I want to do it as fast as I can because I'm sick of this. So stupidest thing ever. Stopped eating pretty much. I think I was eating like probably ridiculous, like 600 calories a day.
How did you
Like,
even function?
oh, I wasn't functioning. Like, I got so ill towards the end. Like, my body fat was so high, so I
Yeah.
had people to like play with. um, I got down to like 54 kilos, and then I started to like feel the repercussions. I was like, okay, this isn't good.
Yes.
And then I got to like 47 kilos, and then I was like really bad. I was like fainting at work. I was passing out. Um, no sex drive at all. Testosterone was crashed.
Yeah.
Um, and then the doctor suggested me going to hospital and put me on a drip feed. And I was super stubborn. I was like, no, there's no way I'm going to sit in hospital and go on a drip feed.
Yeah.
So I met a guy in a supplement shop. I won't name names. And he's just like, dude, you need to start smashing macas and stuff. And I was like, I'm not macas. Like, I was so fat, and that's what I used to do.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll just get fat again. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it my way. And I just started slowly adding in calories. And then I went to a different supplement shop, and I met a guy, and he was just like all over it, like cared about me, cared about my well-being, and took me under his wing. And I was like, all right, sweet.
It was
And then
awesome.
he helped me. I got back to like, oh, like 4 years later. I got back to like, I think it was like probably like 84 kilos.
Yeah.
Not super lean, but like not completely out of shape.
But more healthy.
Yeah, for sure. And then another year or two, I got to 96 kilos. And then I was like, all right, now it's time to pull some of this body fat off.
Yeah.
And yeah, I got pretty lean at that weight. And then, yeah, I was just in a good position. Kept training. And yeah,
Wow. Well, a lot to kind of decompact there.
for
Um,
sure.
First off, so how long did it take you, roughly eating 600 calories? Well, actually, no, before that. So when you were like 140 and you decided to kind of drop the weight, so that was just, you didn't kind of really have any influence or anything. You just kind of went, oh, the best way to do that is just, not really eat barely anything.
Yeah.
And then, so how long did that then take you to kind of get down to what you said, like 50 something?
Uh, Probably like a year and a half.
So you ate like roughly 600 calories for a year and a half.
I was legit eating, I was drinking water and chewing gum all day. And then I was eating like chicken breast or salmon fillet with like spinach for dinner. And then I think I was doing like oats and protein powder for my last meal.
Wow. Had you started training during this period, or was it just all just pure like cardio, walking?
Dude, it was really bad. It was like cardio 3 times a day. Probably like I didn't have an Apple Watch at that time or any step tracker, but
Yeah.
it was around 20,000 steps a day and strength training once a day.
I, that just blows my mind. Like I'm thinking about me, if I was in that situation, I would be fucked. Like I wouldn't be able to function. So the fact that you did that for over a year is just mind blowing.
Yeah. Like it was really bad. Like even at work, I was like working in warehousing, so I was doing steps all day anyway.
Yeah.
And then I'd just on my lunch break, I'd go do more steps. I wouldn't even eat. So it was just like, what am I doing? But
Yeah.
hey,
So the main thing is you live and you learn. So you've definitely come a long way from then.
yeah.
But during that period, like, did you ever think about kind of, I guess, seeking advice outside, or did you just feel like this was something that you had to do for your own personal journey and like you had to do it by yourself? Like,
Well, I don't know. Like back then, I don't even know if there was online coaches really.
yeah,
To be honest, I was watching like the first, like one of the first videos. I remember this video so clearly. Like, you know, Remington James?
yeah,
Yeah. So I watched his video. It was like 1,300 calories to get shredded. I would do that diet. And it was like raw oats and blueberries for
yeah.
breakfast, chicken and rice, chicken and veg, and like protein powder and oats for the last meal.
So, so that was kind of the influence, I guess, then that kind of
Yeah, pretty much.
got you in that direction.
Yeah.
So then once you kind of finally, when you got down to that weight, like that 50 kilos, 47, and that, do you feel like you kind of went to that other extreme? So what kind of like did you feel like you ended up feeling like you had some form of eating disorder or like
Oh,
in a
100%.
sense because you obviously whether you had an eating disorder to begin with to be that size, but do you think like because you obviously went from one end of the spectrum all the way to the other?
So when I was big, I don't even think it was an eating disorder. It was just like I was just eating crap down at the skate park and just drinking so much soft and stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah, and then I just cut all that out really. And that's when I started dropping weight. And then I was like, I want to lose more weight. So I just kept eating less and less. And I was like, this is great. I'm losing weight. Same time, I was like, yeah, okay, I've lost
Not
five
realizing what it's doing to your body.
straight up. So that's like all I really did, to be honest.
Yeah. I'm still mind boggled about that. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane.
So then when you started to, I guess, reintroduce food and stuff like that, and you didn't want to go to the hospital, and so you're like, I'm gonna do this and slowly work my way back up. Had you met that supplement store person yet who kind of took you under their wing, or that was until you had kind of like, how did you get the knowledge to kind of, were you just slowly reintroducing food? Like, how was your approach to kind of, because I guess at that point you just were used to not eating. So how did you kind of get that, flick that switch to, move forward and go, okay, I need to come out of this now?
Yeah, I definitely had like chronic eating disorder. So
Yeah.
it was actually very hard. Like I was like, I don't want to eat more. I don't want to gain weight. And I'd see the weight on the scale go up and I'd be like, okay, I need to drop food again. So it was always one step forward, 2 steps back pretty much. And then eventually he was actually offered to coach me.
Okay.
So I was like, okay. I was like, yeah, we can try this. And I trusted him like with like all my life. Like I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I knows what he's talking about. I'm gonna listen to him. I trust him. And it all turned out pretty well until I got to like 86 kilos. And then I was like, okay, now I'm like accruing too much body fat. Like,
Yeah.
so then we got to, I think top peak weight was like 96. And then I was like, let's pull it back. But he was all there, always there for me. Like,
That's
so
good. I like it's good that you kind of found that crucial person or like that point where you could allow someone to help you and guide you, when you kind of, I guess, in some way were a bit lost, so he was able to kind of like help you kind of get right back on track. So would you say this is kind of when throughout like that process is when you kind of fell more in love with bodybuilding or got like more into the sport?
yeah, yeah, for sure. Like I'd say so. Like I just kept watching people on YouTube, Instagram, and I was like, this is so cool. Like you bulk up and then you just get shredded. Like, and I was like, and at the time, because I was so like head fucked, I
Yeah.
was like, this is easy. Like, all I have to do is reduce my calories and I'll just get shredded. Like, it's not even.
I guess in that regard, like, yeah, you spent such a long time and being in a calorie deficit. So I guess when
Yeah,
unlike, someone who just kind of gets into bodybuilding for the first time or, wants to lose fat loss, um, you know, for you, it's just kind of like, oh, well, this is piss easy. Like I'm only eating like 1,000 calories less or something. I've had dropped like no food. So I guess dieting must be, I guess like second nature almost.
yeah, exactly. It's like this. I was like, why does everyone complain when they're dieting? But yeah, the more muscle you gain, though, you definitely increase metabolism and you get
Yeah.
so much like. Like now, I couldn't even like fathom going on 600 calories, 1,300 calories. Like that's like 3 meals, 2 meals.
Yeah. You starve yourself at that point.
Yeah,
So then I know that you're currently working with Ross. So
yep.
how long has that been happening? When did that kind of come about? And was there a transition between, you leaving the supplement store guy and his coaching, and then you kind of did your own stuff for a bit, and then you went with Ross, or was it like just a transition from one to another coach?
Yep. So I was actually working on myself, just by myself. Like
Yeah.
no, well, um, I've had like I've probably been through 4 coaches, but like not very knowledgeable. Like not
Yeah.
very helpful. Just basic plans, like PT type stuff, like
Yeah.
3 sets of 12. And then yeah, I met Ross, and I was like, okay, I want to go all in. Like this was probably February of the last year or year before. So I've been working with him for like probably like 16, 17 months now.
Yeah.
And he's just been a godsend. Like he's so knowledgeable. Um, any questions he knows, like, and if he doesn't know, I appreciate the honesty. He's like, I don't know. I'm going to do my research and I'll get back to you.
That's good. That's
So
good.
like that's something that's like missing in the industry.
Yeah.
Like most coaches, like you see them like post on Instagram and it's like, this is the only way, this is that, like, and you're like, no, like
Mm.
this, and not everyone knows everything because if they did, they'd be the best there is. Like
Yeah.
everyone. So yeah, Ross has just been next level, like so helpful.
It's good when you can, like, I can appreciate that. Like it's really important to be able to, a lot of people talk about John, Mountain Dog, how he was very humble in that manner where, he knew a lot, but if he didn't know something, he wouldn't pretend that he knew. He would just be like, look, I actually don't know.
Yeah,
And then like I think it's really good to hold yourself accountable in that manner instead of, bullshit your way through it, or, say something that's not true.
exactly.
And then go do the research yourself, learn about it, and then, go, okay, hey, I've, done the research now, so this is what I've kind of seen worked out. All right, let's play around with this or whatever. Big respect to Ross for that. Because I
Yeah,
know there's a few other athletes like Louis and Ryan, that are working alongside him at Henna. So no, I'm excited to see that. What So what's the plan that you guys have been kind of working on? Because I guess, you haven't stepped on stage yet.
yeah.
So what is it, just like, kind of get yourself really primed and ready to step on stage? Um,
So at the moment, it's just gain as much size as possible. And then he wants to run me through like a mini prep
yeah. See how your body reacts.
just to see how I react, how I respond, how I actually cope during that like
Yeah.
situation. Um, and then it would be back into a surplus again, gain more size, and then hopefully like because I'm pretty stubborn as well. He suggested me doing classic, and I was like, I really classic. Like my waist is probably too thick. Don't have the right shape really. I've had hernia surgery as well, so like in classic, the only benefit would be is I can pull a vacuum in classic, and I can hide the hernia surgery a little bit.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I don't see any like point in doing classic. So I'm like, I just want to go gun ho to open.
Well, but even in open, like if you look at like Charles Griffin at the moment, he's pulling vacuums and it's made his physique, change a lot. But he's more suited to. I wouldn't say, oh, he's suited to classic. He's still suited to open. But so you could still utilize the vacuum within open.
Yeah, it's like Luke Sando as well. Like he
Yeah.
did like vacuum and it looked amazing. So either way,
So you're currently in a growth phase at the moment before, I guess, what you're saying will lead up to a mini prep.
just transitioning into it now because I was in a diet phase and then I got sick and now I'm back ready to go.
Yeah. How long were you in that diet phase for?
Oh, I think it was like probably 11 weeks.
Oh, that's not too bad. Was that the original initial goal, like 12, 10 to 12 weeks, or was it just kind of
I
wanted your
was
body to get to a certain point?
hoping 6 to 8, but
But
yeah,
things ended up extending a bit.
yeah, it just what it is what it is. Like
Yeah.
body fat was higher than he thought probably.
So have you guys planned a particular, I know like you're saying, okay, you want to do the growth phase, then diet down, do another growth phase. Do you think there's a possibility that, like, say, after diet phase, um, that could possibly lead into a prep, or you may cut the second growth phase at short, or do you have like a definite, yeah, this is the goal for when we want to step on stage, or you're just kind of playing it by ear?
So at the moment, play it by ear. But if I'm under the weight cap for classic, which I probably will be, I don't actually know what my weight cap is for classic. I think it's probably like 106 or 110 kilos.
Yeah.
So if I'm under the weight cap, yeah, maybe go into one, but it's not really like my goal. So it's like, do I want to go into a prep or do I want to just keep growing and see where I can get to?
Yeah. No, I think that's a really important thing. I remember hearing on a different podcast they were talking about that, and it was someone was asking, oh, you know, I've injured my leg or whatever, I want to do classic, but at the same time, I just want to step on stage too. So should I do a men's physique in the meantime? But it's just like, well, like what's more important to you, I guess, stepping on stage just for stepping on stage, or following the category that you really want to achieve.
And that's the other thing with like this generation these days, I feel like everyone just wants to jump on stage. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I couldn't care if I jumped on stage or not, to be honest. I
Yeah.
just love the lifestyle. So it's like I'm happy to just grow for like 4 years if that's what it takes.
So I think it's a really good mentality to have.
Yeah.
Do you feel so you're not actually too concerned, like is it a goal that you just wouldn't mind experiencing being on stage, but it's not something that's like, it's what drives your passion for, like, going to the gym and living this lifestyle, that passion's from a different place?
So at the moment, I'm well aware that I'm nowhere near open size.
Yeah.
Like the stage, it will always be there. But for the meantime, I need to, because even Ross said, he's like, I don't want you to compete. I want you to be competitive. And I
Yeah.
was like, I don't want to just go step on stage and, I don't know, place 15th.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point really? Like,
No, I agree with that.
yeah.
I think it's really important. It's interesting. I think that it's okay to want to experience it. Like I'm kind of in a similar boat. Like, I want to be competitive. I don't want to just get on stage for the sake of getting on stage. But at the same time, it's kind of also like, well, is it better to have that, let's say, just have that experience to, okay, I can cope with a prep. I can. This is the look that I achieved. Okay, well, because I've made myself this lean, I'm going to be able to bounce back and grow better and put myself in a better position compared to, not stepping on stage. It's really like this, almost feels like a double-edged sword on like what's kind of the right thing to do. So what's your view on that? Are you still leaning more towards that? It's just kind of better to, you, like you're saying, you would rather wait to be competitive. You kind of disagree with the other side, or you're in the same boat. You think both are valid?
No, so I definitely like would recommend for anyone to compete before like going into a show just right off the bat.
Yeah.
And gonna run me through a peak and everything, and we'll turn it into a photo shoot or something. He'll run me through a peak. He'll diet me down. So
Are you looking forward to it, like finally kind of experiencing that?
yeah, for sure. I reckon it'll be sick.
How much do you think your mindset has changed enough that, like, are you worried that, or has it ever come to into your mind, I guess, going back into that, deep calorie deficit and, what is required to get that lean could maybe put you back in that mindset from, being in that eating disorder? Like, do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I know what you're trying to say. Yeah. Um, Honestly, like not really. I don't think I could get back there
Yeah.
just because I have been there. And like, even if I did start to fall that way, I would like, I've got
The
enough,
support.
like, okay, this is what's happening. Like,
Yeah.
pull my head in and get on with it.
That's
So
not, it's good to hear then. I think that's important. I think it's important to always be in the right mindset before entering, like, a form of prep or anything like that. So it's good that, I guess, that's not something that you have to worry about happening in comparison, someone else.
yeah, for sure.
So I seen you also do online coaching. So
Yeah.
how long have you been doing that, and what kind of got you interested in that?
So probably around 8 months.
Yeah.
And honestly, I just like, I don't prep anyone
Yeah.
unless they trust me enough to prep them. Because I haven't run a prep myself. I kind of know what I'm doing. Like I've done heaps of research, but I don't even trust myself enough to run one for a prep. And I'll
Yeah.
be honest, I'm not going to be one of those guys that's like, okay, yeah, I'll coach you, I'll prep you, and like completely miss their peak and everything.
Mhm.
But being obese and being anorexic and now being healthy and just training hard and knowing what I'm doing, I feel like I have the knowledge to help pretty much anyone that's lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I just enjoy helping people. Like even when I'm in the gym, like if someone will take my advice, like I'm happy to give it.
So is it something that are you doing it full time, or are you still working in between doing online?
So I'm currently just about to finish my personal training course and I might jump into a gym.
Okay. So you can do a mixture of face to face and online.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Is that, I guess, is the goal to eventually, to be able to do contest prep, or you always kind of prefer the lifestyle because it's something that you've personally been through?
Lifestyle preferably, but after I compete a couple times, I want to do at least like because like you can't do one show and be like, yeah, I'm a comp prep coach.
Yeah.
Like I reckon at least 4 shows minimum.
What's your opinion then on people that, certain coaches that haven't competed but do comp prep and have the knowledge? Do you think having done a prep yourself, it does separate you from someone who has maybe the research and the knowledge but hasn't competed?
So that's a hard question. Like I don't know. Like you got people like Matt Jansen and hypertrophy coach.
Yeah.
Like I think they've both only competed once, and look at them. They're amazing at what they
Yeah.
do. So it's like you can't say no, you shouldn't be a coach if you've only competed once or you haven't competed. But at the same time, like going through it yourself and understanding what actually goes into it and what the athlete is going through, like you have to understand that.
Hmm. So you believe that having that understanding to be relatable, I guess, in that sense, is the kind of defining factor that should be considered when, being a comp prep coach.
100%.
Are there any other what's the right word? Are there any other factors like that you think, is important? Because, we're as such, it almost feels like, especially in this day age, that every second person is a coach or an online coach. And I think that, I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's, a growing industry. Um, but I do think that it's created a very saturated market.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering, like, what do you, well, what do you do personally so anyone watching can learn? Um, but also, what do you think are, key factors that I guess, really separate someone like a Matt Jensen? I guess that's one in the spectrum because he coaches Olympians, but you kind of get what I mean compared to, just your everyday gym PT coach, or like, what separates a good coach from a bad coach?
So a good coach from a bad coach, I'd say a lot of PTs, like they do their PT course and they're like, okay, I know what I'm doing now. And they start online coaching. And it's like that PT course is like the easiest thing. My sister could pass it. Like my parents could do it. Like anyone could honestly pass it in like, and
Yeah.
I got mine in like 6 weeks, 8 weeks. Like it's really not hard. And like, yeah. And then like, I don't know, I see a lot of PTs in the gym and I'm like, oh, dude, you shouldn't be doing that. Like, your client's going to tear a pec.
Yeah.
um, and then what I think separates me is like just being honest and setting realistic goals for the client. Like if I have someone come to me and he's like, I want to put on 10 kilos in a year, I'm like, well, you can't. Like it's
Yeah.
impossible. Like I'm sorry, but
You're
it
not feeding that false narrative just to grab clients.
like and I reckon like a lot of people do think they can put on 10 kilos in a year, and it's like if a coach is telling you that, like run. Like you should not at all.
So do you believe in the philosophy of like it's important to, as a coach, to educate your client? Like, because there's a lot of talk at the moment, I think in the industry of like a coach is not here to educate you, they're here to coach you. And then some people say, well, actually, no, we are here to educate you, but and then give you the founding blocks to then be able to do things yourself, or take off the training wheels. But you also want to then provide a service where they still want to stay with you. Like, what is kind of your philosophy on that? What do you think is kind of the, I wouldn't say right or wrong way, because I think depending on the person, but I'm just interested in your opinion on that.
So if a client asks you a question,
Yeah.
answer it. And if you don't know the answer, you should be able to go research it and find out. Yeah. And what else did you say? Sorry.
Like, I was just trying to say, do you think it's important to, do you think as a coach you should just coach the client, not educate them? Or do you think it's important to be able to educate them, but also provide a service where it's up to them later on if they want to leave, and because you've educated them, or you've had a service where they're happy to still stay?
So you're a coach. You're there to coach them.
Yeah.
But if you want to be a good coach and a successful coach, I think you should go out of your way to educate.
Yeah.
So that's where I stand on it, to be honest.
What? Sorry, just trying to work out how to word this question too. What how do you think, how has Ross, I guess, influenced you and what you've learned from him? Like, is Ross a perfect example of that? Like, he's coached you, but he's, I guess, in some way also helped educate you that then you can do that within your own coaching business.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think that it's wrong to then take the knowledge that he's given you? Like for example, like you're saying, with anyone can do a PT course. So do you think that the PT course, it should be updated so it's a, I guess. All right, let me reword the whole question. Sorry.
No, you're right.
So for example, people like John Jewett or JP Coaching or Joe Collective, and they give courses on getting becoming a coach and stuff like that, and being able to give yourself the knowledge that is needed to either help yourself or help others. Do you think that type of information should be translated into what it takes to get a PT? Maybe not at that level because it is still somewhat bodybuilding specific, but should that type of knowledge be transferred in a way? Because I think a lot of the foundations are the same for like you're saying, like Gen Pop and lifestyle in the coaching manner where you get a degree in comparison to, like you're saying, a simple 6 to 8 week course. Anyone can do it.
Yeah. So I think to be a PT, like the PT course, honestly, isn't really too bad. Like it is what it is, really.
Yeah.
Actually do update it like every. I called him. I think I asked him. It was 4 to 6 months.
Okay.
So they do update it, but like there is no biomechanics in it or anything. Like it's very basic. It's like how to set up a strength training program, how to set up a program for someone with an injured leg, or someone for even like they had like like a running program in there, and I was like, I'm not coaching someone who's running. Like, yeah, we're not running in the gym.
Yeah.
um, so I think you got to go outside and you got to learn from everyone you can, take bits and pieces and just apply it. And like, yeah, you just learn as you go. Like, you never
Yeah.
stop learning. Like I said before, like no one ever knows everything, and
So
if they don't, like,
yeah, that kind of that constant upskilling.
yeah, 100%. Like I learned from Physique Collective, JP. I'm on both their member sides. I work with Ross. Victor Black Masterclass is another one. He's all right. Bit arrogant, but yeah, is what it is. Um, and yeah, what's his name? John Jewett as well.
Yeah.
Uh, Nick Gloff, he's another really good one. Matt Jansen doesn't post a whole lot of content anymore on like specifics, but he's great as well. So like all those guys, like
Yeah.
they're all great.
That's kind of the best place. Like you're saying, you just you know the most important thing is I guess don't do a PT course and think that's all you need to know to coach. It's always good to make sure you're constantly learning, constantly upskilling, and like you're saying, look outwards to any form of knowledge from anybody.
Yeah.
So I'll just kind of ask some, like, I guess, fun questions, so to speak. Um, First one kind of being, so outside of Rami, because I guess it's speculation with how he's looking and stuff that he's most likely going to win 3 times in a row. Who is someone else that you're excited to hopefully maybe beat him? Like, do you have a fan favorite going into the Olympia this year?
So I'm really biased towards Hollingshead, James,
Yeah, I love
and
James.
Ian Valier and Nick Walker. Like those guys, them probably my favorite physiques. Like especially James Hollingshead.
Yeah,
Like I think he has better shape and structure than Hardy. People might say I'm crazy, but I don't really care. I prefer James's physique over majority of the physiques on that stage.
yeah,
The biggest dark horse is going to be Samson.
yes,
Like,
I agree.
he gets that lower back peeled, glutes peeled. He's just going to be a freak. Like that's like, oh, you can't say Ronnie Coleman level, but yeah, pretty.
I know what you mean. Like, it definitely can, I think, make really work Rami in comparison to someone like Brandon or Hardy, or I think Hunter could be up there, but I think that Hunter just doesn't have the same muscular shape that Samson has.
I totally agree. I actually do not like Hunter's physique, and I don't know how he beat Nick last year or Ian, to be honest. Um, Hunter's really cool. He's actually puts out a lot of good content,
Yeah,
but I actually don't know. Yeah, I don't really know how he got fourth, to be honest.
I think it's more. I think it more has to do with his shape. I think his shape over Nick is what edged him out. Because I
Yeah,
think when you look at it, his shape, you know, was closer to Rami, and there's a lot of talk that from what we saw visually on TV streams, phones, photos, it wasn't actually justice to what he actually looked like on stage.
yeah,
Um, I do agree. I think I think it could have gone either way. I did agree with you. Like at first, I was kind of like, nah, fuck. I think Nick should have, you know, beat him, edged him off. But then, kind of thinking about it now, I guess, either one was fine.
Yeah, man. Like Nick's conditioning and the density and just the mass, like he's a freak,
Yeah, 100%.
a proper mutant. And
Literally.
people give him shit about his waist, and like he uploaded a waist picture, like him doing like a little side turn in the mirror, like 4 weeks ago, and I was like, dude, that waist is tiny. Like, how
Yeah,
do people?
but it's funny that you say that. I just saw something earlier today. Uh, Nick Strength and Power posted it.
Yeah,
Some people because he just joined HD, some people posted a screen grab of a HD video that he did of him, like the introduction. There was a couple of posing, and he's got like looks really, really bad. Like it's transitioning poses,
yeah.
um, but like bubble gut, like
Oh,
extended, like
why? Or was he doing ab crunches or something? I've heard about that one.
no, 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 no. He was in the posing room and he's like, as if like he's doing like transitioning from like let's say a front double to a side chest or side try. So he's just standing side on and it's just extended like crazy.
Yeah.
But it's a point that Nick Strangler was making, which I liked, was that you can't say that that's going to ruin him because when he's on stage, he's holding his abs through
Oh,
everything. So I guess it just depends if this is something that's gotten worse that he can't hold. But I guess it's weird because when you look at all the front pictures, like what you're saying, his waist looks tiny. It looks like it's actually shrunk.
no, this was a side on one. His waist was
Yeah.
tiny. Like, so
So
I don't
must
know.
just
His his stage presence as well is great.
yeah.
Like he's dialed in. Like you
Oh,
can practice posing on posing. Like
I think that's really important, being able to hold that pose while holding dominance.
yeah,
Yeah,
and that's what made him stand out last year, I think, and at the New York Pro.
definitely,
Like
definitely.
actually, he didn't move.
Nah, I
So
think he can use that to his advantage again this year. So it'll be exciting. It's going to be a
yeah.
good Olympia.
Oh, it's going to be a Olympia. Yeah.
The next question is what? So what's your current split at the moment, and what's kind of your favorite day to train?
Okay, so current split at the moment, it's a new one. I've only been on it 4 weeks, so I'm doing pull and hamstrings,
Yep.
and then I'm doing push and arms, and then I'm doing rest day, and then lower, and then upper. So upper is a bit of delts, bit of chest, bit of back, and arms all in one.
Is it
So,
kind of like, one exercise per body part or two?
ooh, it's actually one for chest, two for shoulders, two for back, and then only two exercises for arms, but 3 sets on each.
Yeah.
So like the frequency isn't super high, and then the volume's not that high either.
But like overall, like the amount of working sets per body part is kind of that good level throughout the week.
It's just enough stimulus that I need, but
Yeah.
it's not too much where recovery is going to just go to crap.
Have you found what were you doing beforehand?
Oh, I think it was what was it? Push pull legs, delts and arms.
So are you liking this one more? That kind of, I guess, mix and mash of body parts. Like, for example, I'm doing like shoulders and hamstrings and glutes together, and I really like that. When I first looked at it, I was like, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
But after doing it, I'm like, fuck, this actually is pretty good. I like this.
yeah. So yeah, at the start I looked at it and I was like, this is so different. Like I've never
Yeah.
done anything but I haven't deadlifted or leg pressed in like 10 months because I've got cartilage deteriorating in my knee, so I had to work on that. So I'm just happy to be back on a leg press and deadlifting again, to be
Yeah.
honest. So I got stiff leg deadlifts and T bars on the same day. So that day's like just destroys me.
I can
Like,
imagine.
but the rest of the sessions, yeah, I love them. Like,
Yeah.
um, I love training everything, eh? Like, pull and legs, like
Yeah.
that's bloody like you really got to zone in for them too. But like, yeah, the rest like arms and stuff. Arms is pretty boring. I really don't like arms. Like,
I think anyone does.
no, like at the start it's cool. Like when you're younger and stuff, you're like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm getting like, okay, these little things just need to grow. Like, just hurry up and grow.
Yeah, literally. What's your, I guess, all-time favorite exercise?
Ooh, probably a hack squat, and that's a really good question. Hack squat, and I don't actually know. You got me stumped.
Well, okay, what about this way? Well, so that's your favorite leg exercise. What's your favorite chest? What's your favorite back? And then favorite
Yeah.
shoulders.
So I was gonna rattle off a couple anyway. Oh, dude, probably low incline DB press.
Yeah.
Um, and then back, probably single arm D handle pull downs.
Yeah, I like those. I like those a lot. And then what about shoulders?
Oh, shoulders. Cuff laterals for sure.
Yeah, I wanna get those cuff things. They're just I always try and get them from the Josh Bridgerton, the 1RM or whatever it is, but they're always like sold out.
Yeah,
Do you have them?
yeah, I've got them.
Oh, that's why. What's your favorite? Do you kind of do cheat meals, refeed days types style? Like what's your favorite? Like
So I'm a robot. Even my coach is like, dude, I've never met anyone like you. He's like, you're my most structured client. You're legit a robot. Like, you're an alien. Uh, I stick to the plan year round. Like, I don't deviate at all.
do you think that comes back to like the original stuff to do with the weight gain and then the dropping all the weight? Do you think that has an influence into it? That mindset that you're happy to just kind of, I guess, be a robot and stick to the plan all the time?
So, to anyone listening, they'd probably say yes. But I kind of disagree. Like, if Ross gave me macros and was like, okay, you're doing a refeed today, like, I'd be happy with that rather than just go eat a bunch of crap and have like a all out cheat meal. And then yeah, I just enjoy what I do. Hey, like I really don't. I'm not really fussed like about
Yeah.
food.
I
Like I'm
think
not.
that's important. It
Yeah,
helps in the sport.
like it's kind of like you hear Ian Valier say like um he doesn't see food as a reward,
Yeah.
and I don't. I'm like if you let your emotions control your food, that's what I used to do, and that's how I got an eating disorder.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
You've kind
It
of
is.
learned from it.
Yeah.
Well, what's your favorite meal then that like you kind of eat within your macros? Like your the one
Oh,
you're most excited to eat.
so in off season, like peak off season, I'd say just breakfast, man. Eggs on toast is a massive bowl of cereal.
Yeah, I always see you posting that
Yeah,
the eggs on toast barbecue sauce.
yeah, always barbecue sauce. Um, yeah, at the moment though, yeah, I'm just cream of rice, eggs, boring as. Really fast.
But
I'm just
they're essentials, yo. Yo. If it works, it works. Like, you know what I mean? Like I think it's about like you're kind of saying not seeing food as a reward, but kind of finding the enjoyment in simple foods.
yeah, 100%. Like, dude, like honestly, if I was gonna have a cheat meal anyway, my cheat meal would be a massive bowl of cereal. Like,
Yeah.
I the boxes like milk, pour the milk in, smash the cereal,
Yeah.
like the whole box.
Hell
So
yeah.
like that would be like yeah, what I'd do anyway. So I'm pretty much doing calculate.
Enjoying
Like,
it anyway.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
exactly.
cool. That's cool. Last question to kind of wrap things up. Um, I feel like I already know your answer now. I was gonna say, oh, actually, two questions. Well, I'll split it into two questions. All
Okay.
right. Who is your favorite? Well, you answered that too, but okay, outside of James,
Yeah.
um, who's your favorite, I guess, active bodybuilder, and who would you like to train with, present and kind of past?
So are we talking Australia or anyone?
Uh anyone.
Anyone?
Yeah.
Uh, the boring answer would be my coach. Um, but honestly, probably Justin Shire.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I love the way he trains. Everything's controlled, so neat.
I perfect form.
Yeah, like immaculate. Like
Yeah. Literally.
doesn't miss a beat. And then Nick Walker as well. Like both of them, they train like pretty much the same. Now Nick's back with Matt Jansen as well. I'm pretty sure his program's like a bit more similar to mine. Before it was a bit the single leg hack squats and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, getting a
All
bit
over the
fun.
place.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, Justin Shire and Nick Walker though for sure.
And then what about you? Like past, so like, Jay, Ronnie, Flex.
Ooh, that's a good question. Not Ronnie because I'd probably get killed. I'd probably go like torn quad or
Yeah.
torn. Um. Oh, I was gonna say Branch, but yeah, that would probably be yeah,
That
not a
would be death too from things I've heard.
yeah. Branch is a savage. Damn. Yeah, maybe Jay Cutler to be honest.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll learn a
Or
lot from that session anyway.
Dorian would be good, I think.
Yeah, Dorian would be good too. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, because he's real calculated with what he did.
Yeah. And then I kind of like what you said before, so we'll make this the official last question. Which Australian pro would you like to train with?
Oh, that's a hard one. I don't even know any Australian pros.
Oh, because let's say you got like Sam, Logan, Aaron, Nathan Williamson. Who else am I missing?
Oh,
There's quite a lot actually. I'm missing.
who's in open?
Sam, Logan Robson, Sam Pierce,
Okay,
Aaron's 212.
12. Yeah, I know Aaron.
Nathan Williamson, he's open. Um, you got Josh Leonardowicz.
Oh yeah, he would be cool. Yeah, Josh would be.
I've seen that he's kind of like coming back, hopefully. So that might be exciting for 2023.
He is.
So that'll be good.
Yeah, especially after what he's been through, man. He's got the craziest story.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be actually. I might try and see if I can get him on the podcast. That'd be pretty cool.
He's a cool guy.
Yeah. A lot of people have a lot of positive things to say about him. So,
Yeah,
well, thank you so much for joining me, man. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
appreciate the opportunity, man.